Okay, and I'll go ahead and let you get started. Thank
Okay.
you.
Hello, my name is Christian Wassana, and I'm from the Cheyenne and Arapaho tribes of Oklahoma. I am a scholar, actor, and owner creator of a motivational movement called I Am, I Can, and I Will. Thank you guys for having me. It's an honor to be here, to be with you, your program, and I was excited and glad I was able to make it happen. I'm on the road right now. I'm on my way back to Oklahoma from Dallas. We were filming up there, and I have a meeting tomorrow that I have to be at. So I'm on my way there right now. But like I said, I'm happy to be here. To talk to you guys. And this is Navajo land, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, awesome. So you guys say Yate, is that how you say it? Yate.
Yes, very good. Yes.
Yeah. So hello, and I just kind of want to talk a little bit about my movement and what I've done thus far in my life, to be where I'm at today. I'm young, I'm still young, I'm still learning. I learn every single day, and I hope that never changes. I always want to be a student to life, learning from others, from my peers and other people that I surround myself with. So I just want to kind of talk about what I've done and what I've seen, coming from my experience, from my way of life and thinking. And um, so I started a motivational movement called I Am, I Can, I Will about 3 years ago. I have a logo and I have a movement. Um, I am, I can, and I will. I am stands for I am everything that I say I am. The power of us believing in who we are and what we say. I constantly tell myself, I am native, I am strong, I am brave, I am resilient. Because I always think about my ancestors. I always think about what they went through, and how strong they were, and that same blood that's in them runs through me, so I know that the strength that I have, the toughness and the resiliency that runs through my body. It's in there. I may not know it, I may not feel it, but it's in there. Sometimes I always have to remind myself, I am strong, I am native, I am brave, I am resilient, I can do anything I put my mind to. I can refers to my mind. I threw that in there because I always thought back to how our mind is the most powerful tool that we have. You can be the strongest, you can be the biggest, toughest person, but if you don't have the right mindset, if you don't have a good attitude, if you don't have mental, good mental health, mindset, none of that matters. So I can do anything I put my mind to. Um, I always do my best. I struggle with mental health a lot, so I always use that I can do anything I put my mind to. I can overcome this. I can and it's not always easy, it's not always easy, um overcoming those things or going through them. It's easier said than done. So I'm always telling myself, I can do anything I put my mind to. I can do anything I put my mind to, and then, but leading to that, with that struggle, I will be successful. No matter what it is, no matter what I go through in this life, I'm gonna be successful. I will be successful. And I kind of have a different way of thinking of success. A lot of times people think of trophies or winning medals and um, getting promotions at jobs or whatever it may be. But my thought on success is being better than I was yesterday. Did I wake up today and was I better than I was yesterday, mentally, physically, and spiritually? Did I do something that I didn't do yesterday to better my life, to better my health, to better my people, to help others? Did I do those things? And if I was able to wake up and do that today, I consider myself successful. I was successful today. I helped somebody. I got better. I learned something. I learned something new. Um, so I really harp on the I will be successful, because, you know, at the end of the day, what matters is how many lives we touch, how many lives we help, and what we do to become better one day at a time. And whether that's um, something really, really small. As long as you're moving forward, that's all that matters. As long as you're in my belief, that's what I believe, is that, we're gonna fail, we're gonna mess up. That's what happens. That's life. It's not all roses, and um, you know, good things just don't happen. Sometimes they do, but not all the time. So, I always have to keep in mind, and excuse me real quick, I gotta wipe my nose. What I always tell them, what I always say is that it doesn't matter how big of a step it is, as long as you get back on track, as long as you get back to where you're supposed to be, because you're gonna fail, you're gonna get your heart broke, you're gonna go through it one day, to a point where you don't know where to go or what to do. You may want to drop out of school, you may want to it's gonna happen. We've all been there, I've been there, I've done it. And if I based my life off of my struggles and my losses and what I did wrong, I would still be sitting there with nothing. But I didn't let that define me, as no one should. That's just part of it. That's just part of our life and what we go through. So no matter what we do, no matter what we go through, every single day, we're gonna strive to be better. I will be successful. And I came up with that movement, and it brought me to share my story with a lot of people, and and just in hopes that I touch the right student, the right kid, who may feel like giving up, or may feel like they're not heard, or they're not seen, or they struggle with mental health, that it's okay. It's okay to go through anxiety and depression and these terrible things, that they're not alone, that there's other people that go out there, to talk to somebody about it. Let people know how you're feeling. Don't go through it alone, because that was my problem growing up. I always held things in. As a man, I always held my emotions in. I always held my thoughts, and it just ate at me. It ate me up, and I finally realized, I was at a point of breaking, and I finally reached out to somebody. It was the best thing that I ever did. Letting somebody know how I feel, asking for help. It wasn't anybody. It was just one of my friends too. I haven't very many friends, but I reached out and they listened, and it felt good to be able to talk. So I always tell them, talk to somebody at school, your friends, somebody it is, just tell somebody how you feel. Don't be scared, because it's okay to go through those things. It's okay to feel, and to be sad, and to hurt, and to not know, to be uncertain. It's okay. But as long as you keep going, as long as you keep putting one foot in front of the other, and making it happen every single day. So that comes with that, I will be successful. And yeah, so I started that movement, and it's been really good. I graduated college last May. I finished with my business degree, and then straight from there, I went to work in the film industry, and became an actor and director assistant. And it's been really good. I wanted to be an NBA player. I wanted to play basketball for the NBA, and that didn't happen. That didn't work out the way that I wanted it to. It really hurt me, but I didn't let it stop me from doing something that I loved. I've always loved telling our people stories, our native stories, and being not just in front of the camera, but behind it. Filming and bringing out these stories and the beauty of our people and our culture and who we are as people. Because our kids, our youth, I even as a young boy, I kind of shied away from it, but we forget about our culture. We forget language. We forget about how important it is as people to hold on to who we are, our culture, our songs, our ceremonies. Each tribe has a different ceremony, different ceremonies, different ways. But I don't know about you guys, but for us, it's dying off. It's dying out. It's it's becoming less and less because our youth are so worried about other things. They're not worried about who we are, our culture, our language. So I always I always make sure, what word did you learn today? What song did you learn today? Did you talk to your elders? Did you do some research? Because forget at the end of the day, not forget school. Don't forget education because it's important, but learn your culture, learn who you are, learn your ways, because that's most important. Our ancestors, our people, they fought for us to be here, and we can't let those things die off. And I always harp on that. I always start with the song whenever I'm in person. I always have my drum, and I start off with the song, one of our songs. um, and just in hopes that, one day a kid might, they might want to pick that drum up or that gourd, however they go about their ways. So I really push that in my logo is a feather with the fist holding a feather up, and that's kind of a reminder of who we are. That we're still here, we're still fighting, in that, every single day it's a fight for our people, to be heard, to be seen, to show the world how beautiful we are, because we're beautiful people. We're artists, we're athletes, we're just so talented. We're more than the res. We're more than being pushed off to a piece of land that the government gave us. We're more than that. We're glowing, shining, bright people. And still coming from where our native people come from, where what they did to us, pushing us on these pieces of land with nothing. We're still shining. We're still doing the best that we can with what we have. And I want these kids to remember that, to understand, to know that no matter where we come from, no matter what household, no matter what you have, no matter what you got, how much money you have, forget all that. The beauty that you have inside of you, the power, the strength, is all that matters, and you have to bring that out. You have to bring that power, that beauty out to the world. It don't matter where you come from, how much you have, what you got. All that matters is you showing the world, your siblings, your nephews, your nieces, your teachers, your uncles, who you are, how beautiful you are, how strong you are, how resilient you are. um, and because I struggled with it, I struggled with that. I didn't want to come out of my shell. I was in a little shell for a long time, and I didn't. I like to sing, I like to dance, and I like to draw, but I never really spread. I really never let people know about it. I just kind of kept to myself. And I heard someone speak one day, and they were like, "The beauty inside of you is meant for the world." And why that is because your beauty may inspire somebody else. So your beauty, your art, your creative sense may inspire somebody else to do it as well. So if you do it and another kid sees you doing it, it starts a big old chain of coming out and relaying that beauty. And that, I mean, that's with anything, culture, our songs, anything. It starts with us. It starts with us and who we are as people doing it right now. And I know it's hard. I know it's hard to come out of our shells sometimes, and to want to be proactive in the world. But it's just it's stepping outside of your comfort zone, and that's what it comes down to. And I know it's not easy. Stepping outside of your comfort zone is one of the hardest things to do. But uh, you have the something inside you that's just meant for the world. That's what I believe. Every single one of us, every single one of us has something beautiful about us that the world should see or hear, or whether it's your words, whether it's your smile, we all have it. So I really harp on that, and I really push that. Um and that's a big part of my message, coming out with that feather like that, of who we are as native people. We're strong, we're beautiful, we're one of a kind. And that's part of what helped me, get to where I'm at, is remembering who I am, remembering where I come. So um So I'm just like I said, I pushed through, times of college. I know if anybody sees this who plans on going to college or who wants to go to college or the workforce, um, it's not easy. It's really not easy. I learned that right off the bat. Um, but but it's doable. It goes back to the I am. I am strong. It's remembering how strong you are, how powerful you are, and what you're capable of doing. There's many times where I wanted to quit, where I wanted to give up. I wanted to stop doing what I was doing. I wanted to go back home. I wanted to leave school and go back home, go back to my people, because that's where I was comfortable. That's what I wanted to do. But I kept my phrase. I kept those words inside my heart. I am, I can, I will. I am, I can, I will. And I stuck it through. I got my business degree. I moved off right the day after I graduated. I moved to Montana for 6 months, and I never thought in my life that I'd be able to do that, to leave home for that amount of time across the US, and much less out of my own house. um but stepping out of my comfort zone, it led me to get a role on one of the biggest TV shows and on TV right now, and led me to so many awesome people and opportunities, and it's taking that leap, taking that one step of faith, um how no matter how scary it might be, because I was scared. I was like, man, what if this happens? What if I mess up? What if I fail? I'm gonna be by myself. I'm gonna be lonely, and I was like, I can't, there's no way I can do this. So but I did it. I remembered my phrase, my people supported me, they pushed me, and I did it. And every single, and that's what one of my main points of my message is. Every single one of us have that strength and that power to go off and to be great, to do good things, to help somebody, to inspire somebody. And that's what I encourage. I encourage every single one of you to do that, to take that leap, take that step. Share your message, share your songs, share what's inside of your heart, because it's there for a reason. you know I believe that things come to us for a reason, to be heard, to be shared. And don't ever be scared or timid to say what you feel, to help somebody, because you may save somebody's life. You may help somebody in a way that you don't even know, that you never would have thought of. You may have helped somebody, save somebody's life, help them from not having a bad day. So I always tell people that share your stories, talk about things, talk about your feelings. It's okay. Um, and that's a big part of my message. So I just want to see if you guys have any questions. If you guys have any questions for me, um, regarding my journey thus far.
I do. I was going to ask you, you eventually foresee yourself going into a master's degree and further
Uh,
up?
so right now, as I said, I'm in the film industry. My schedule is so tight for I'm like for the next 2 years. It's just show after show after show. But I do in the future. I have an interest in indigenous law, and I do at some point want to go into that. Uh, and go into my indigenous law degree. I think that'd be awesome, and I think as soon as I get some time, that's the first thing that I plan on pursuing. So yeah.
Oh, I think that's great. Yeah, to further your studies eventually, and I think that um, because you're in the film industry right now, that a lot of our young people are thinking that they once they finish school that they have to just go on and just like think of a conventional job, and with what
Yeah.
your experience has been like, it's just an open door for a lot of possibilities. So I think that's great. And so one question I have is, So do you have to travel to like various locations, or are you just on one location at a time and then you move on or to another location?
Yeah, so we started in Montana and last summer. Then from Montana, we moved to Texas. And when we're in Texas, we have a base location, which is Fort Worth, but we traveled to various cities around that location. So we travel to various towns around Texas, like all over Texas. We film somewhere new each day. Um, sometimes some places can be the same, but for the most part, we're traveling, we're moving our locations. Back in May, we go to New Mexico. April, we go to New Mexico. Then after that, we go back to Montana for the summer. So yeah, I mean, we're constantly it's constantly going, constantly moving, hotel to hotel. Um, it's that's part of it, but it's so good because there's so many spots in the film industry, especially for our native people. Like we're thinking, me and the director on Yellowstone, we're thinking of starting a mentorship program for native kids who want to learn about the industry, who want to enter the industry, because there's so many places, not just in front of the camera, but behind. There's so many opportunities and places for people to work, that have, there's so many, like there's art, there's labor, there's grips, there's just so many things, we want to, and I don't think a lot of our people know about that. I don't think they understand, the opportunities that are out there in this world. So, we're kind of thinking about that, and I think it's going to be a good opportunity. Like I said, it's in the works right now, but it's going to be awesome.
That does sound that sounds great. I mean, I'm thinking of even like for costumes and screenwriting, and
Yep,
it's
yep,
just
yep,
there's just some great
yep.
opportunities there.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, that's great. So, um, another question I had was, so if there was one teacher or person in your life who had inspired you, who would that be and why?
I would have to say it's hard to say one person because it was two people, and it was my mom and my dad. I've been blessed to have a mom and a dad. They're not together. They're separated, but I spent time with both of them growing up, and I struggled with both of them. I went and lived with one and went and lived with the other, and we struggled. We living as single parents, both of them. I've seen them both struggle. I've been with them. I've seen them. My dad, there were times where we had no money, we had nothing. We were scrounging around to make ends meet. But watching them, watching them never give up, it stuck with me. It stuck with me because it's like, I start to experience things as I go off on my own, as I start to begin to see life, to experience feelings. And I start to see the things that my dad went through, not having no money, not having a place to go, not, all these things. And I'm like, what did my dad do? Well, he kept going. He found a way. He made it happen. He kept a good attitude, and I remembered those things. So I would always remember my dad and my mom, going through those things in those times. And um, that's why I believe, that's why I think it's important that we all have people looking up to us, no matter who it is or where it is. That's why I feel it's always important that we do our best, because there's always somebody watching, and when they may hit that rock bottom one day and be like, oh yeah, man, I seen so and so, they kept going, they kept a good attitude, they kept fighting, so I'm gonna do that. And that's what I look at from my mom and my dad. They always kept a good attitude. They kept a positive attitude no matter what it was that we were going through. It was always, we're gonna be all right. That was the word, is we're gonna be all right. Things are gonna be all right. And I always kept those with me, that attitude and that mentality, to just keep going, to keep fighting, no matter what it is, no matter what we're going through. And that's kind of who it was. My mom and my dad. I don't like to say one, I like to say both of them. But um uh that's, that's it. They're the people closest to me who always, and like I said, we're not, a lot of people, they're not for, they don't have their mom and their dad, they just have, they may be, they just may have themselves, that's it. But that makes me go harder. That makes me be more thankful. That makes me be like a whole, because if I try to put myself in their shoes, which I can't because I never experienced it, but I just, that's part of the message is how strong they are, those kids, those even adults, who don't have anybody to lean on or whatever. They go through those things by themselves, but they keep going, they keep fighting, they keep making it happen. And that gives me motivation. That gives me hope. And I always think about things like that. I always think about the homeless, and I think about the kids and the people who are suffering and hurting right now. Those kids, those people. There's always someone who has it worse. I always think like that, because whenever I feel like I have it bad, or I feel like I'm not have enough or whatever, I remind myself how powerful and strong that those people that have less, that are still making it happen. I always think like that. So there's a bunch of things that inspire me every single day. There's just things that keep me going and pushing every single day. Um, but it have to be my mom and my dad, at the end of the day, who I resort and who I look back to. So,
Thank you. Another question I have is about, and like you mentioned before at the beginning, about addressing us and with Yate, which was very nice. Thank you. I wanted
mhm.
to ask in the Cheyenne-Arapaho language if there is a particular greeting that you have, or like some cultural teachings that have like stuck with you, that if you
um,
wouldn't mind sharing.
yeah, we don't really have a way to say hello, or we always kind of introduce ourselves by saying hello, my name, or my name is, which is Wakanisto Nahishive. And that means, my name is Christian. Well, my name is Calling Evil. That's my Indian name. Um, but our Cheyenne people, we're very, very, very spiritual people. We always fought, and that's what my grandparents and all of our elders always tell us. How closely connected we are with our ceremonies, our people, and that at the end of the day, that's all we have. That's all we have is our people. So we take care of each other, we support each other, we be there for each other, because that's how our people were. That's where we originate from. We originate from love, from peace. It wasn't until the white man came, um, that we started getting with bartering and greed and hatred and evil and all these things. We have to remember who we are as people. That's what they always tell me. We're not fighting people. We love each other, we be there for each other, we support each other, we want good things for each other. um and that's what our people always say. Say Nimiot Samato, and that means, we love each other and we support each other because God is within us. And I always go back, as far as I can remember. I always remember sitting in those lodges and those teepees, listening and 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 trying to soak in the elders' teachings, because they know, they've been there, they've seen things that I haven't seen, they've done things I haven't done. And I'm just constantly, and that's what I would encourage is push yourself to learn from these people. Ask questions, always ask questions. Even if it's not your relative, say, out of respect, can I ask you some things about our culture, about who we are? Because that's all we have. And that's what my ancestors always tell me and teach me. And I always try to incorporate that in my message. So I think that, that kind of sums up that question in a way,
It does. Thank you. And um, so how young of an audience have you made presentations to?
I've made presentations to preschoolers and kindergarteners, and it was tough because you know how they like to be they like to get around and jump around and they get antsy. But I can in that presence those presentations I really just kind of keep it about singing and singing on the drum and singing my songs, and just kind of um, saying a little bit of my I am. Like I have them say, I am strong, I am brave, I am resilient, I am beautiful. Just because, when you say stuff, I believe that when you say things and you put it out into the world, good things, God hears you, God hears the way you think, and good thing, it always sticks with you, So one day I see that those kids remember those words inside their heart somewhere when they say them like that. So I always try to keep it minimal, but I still there's like I said, it's just so hard with those young guys. But I love singing for them. I love having them ask questions about the drum and about the songs, because like I said, maybe one day they'll be like, hey, I want to do that. I want to sing like that. I want to sing those songs. So they go back home and they ask their parents or their uncles or grandmas or whoever, do we have any songs? Teach me some songs. So that's kind of how I keep it, whenever I talk to those young guys like that.
Very nice. Um, Let me see. I don't think I have a question just yet, but I was thinking of um, asking you about um, what do you think has been like your biggest challenge overall in
Um,
your life? Your the one thing that has been something that was large, but you overcame it, and if you want to talk about that or
so I think I think back and I think every day brings a new struggle. But I think it's a never ending, we all battle our own demons, we all have our inner challenges that we face and that we go through. And mine has been mental health. Mine has been anxiety and depression and leaving home and being scared of the world basically and thinking back and going through that kind of still to this day, I struggle sometimes too, but but that's how much that those words in our culture, knowing who I am, has helped me. I always resort back to my culture and to my saying, I am, I can, I will. I am, I can, I will. Um, and it's so powerful, because our ceremonies, our ways of life, and like I said, we're people of creator. We say Mahel. We're such in tune and with, we're so um connected, or our tribe, and that's what I always resort back to. I always go back to my people and my ways and my saying, but overcoming those things, at the end of the day, it's still going to be tough. It's still going to be hard. You're still going to struggle every single day. And and that's one thing that I would consider myself that I've overcame in a way, not fully, but I've got better. I've got better at understanding the mental health side of life, of talking to, of sharing my thoughts, writing down my thoughts, writing down, what I struggle with, how I'm feeling, talking to people about certain things, different people here, because so a lot of the times people go through the same thing that you go through, but they kept it inside as well. So when you talk to other people about it, you're like, oh, hey, I went through that, but da, 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 da. So I started doing that, and that has helped me it has helped me tremendously, hearing other people's testimonies. I read a lot. I like to read. I like to listen to podcasts about overcoming, people, different people's stories and how I can use it in my life and what I can do. And, it was hard, leaving home to go to college and to go to work in Montana was really, really hard, and I see why people, they go off and they leave their ass and they come right back, because it's hard, it's hard to leave your people, it's hard to leave your home because it's not comfortable. But the power of understanding where it comes from. Why am I feeling like this? Why am I feeling like I got to be back home? It's because that's where I'm comfortable. But if I stay here and I realize that I'm doing something good for my life, I'm being uncomfortable. You grow as a person. You become comfortable and you learn so much about yourself. You learn so much about who you are, how strong you are. You push yourself to learn how strong you really are. You learn things, you meet people. And that's what I did. I stuck it out and I prayed and I said my phrases over and over again. I can, I will, I am, I can, I will. I said it to where I've trained my brain. It's brain training. I trained my brain to constantly see the positive, to see the good, to speak a life of good things, even when I struggle, and it became easier. It starts to become, it doesn't fully heal you, but it gets better, it gets easier. And I think I'm still on that journey. I still, every day, I still think I'm on that, I still fight and I still battle every single day, but I think that's life. I think that's part of it. And I think that's what the good fight is about. Um, but just this far in my life, I feel like my mental health has been my biggest challenge and obstacle, as many of us. But it gets better, it gets better.
Thank you. I do have a question in the chat. What suggestions for students exploring theater in high school? Well, hold on, let me back up. What suggestions do you have for students exploring theater in high school and the relevance of um, career exploration?
So, I mean, if you're doing theater in high school, obviously you have a passion and love for acting or for, telling stories or bringing out the beauty and the art of being, in that world. So, it's a world where you have to love it and you have to enjoy it. You have to love the art and the beauty of telling the story and singing this song and being a part of this group of people who's wanting to tell a story. um, and I always say that good things happen when you follow your heart. Good things happen when you follow your heart. And if you're in theater, if you're in any kind of field of work or your job, make sure that you love it. Make sure that at the end of the day, it's something that makes you happy. It's something that you love and can see yourself doing. There's certain instances where you got to kind of, you may have to be somewhere that you don't like, but is that job or that place getting you to somewhere where you want to be? I started out um doing the dirty work, picking up dog poop, doing dishes, doing errands. Did I want to be doing that? Absolutely not. But I knew that it was going to get me to somewhere where I wanted to be. So I always say that is make sure that you're following your heart and that it's in your heart, because your soul will tell you. You'll know when something isn't right. You'll know when you're not happy. You'll know when things aren't don't sit right with your soul. You'll know. So I always say that, whatever you're doing in your life, any occupation, whether it's whatever it is, make sure that you're following your heart and that your soul is happy, or you're doing something to get to where you want to be. I don't think I can hear you. Are you?
Sorry, I'm muted.
Oh, okay, there you
I was
go.
muted. So my question is, so breaking in to the film industry, talking to, of course, the director, lead actors and actresses and the whole crew. Um, I was just going to ask you, does it or did it involve having you come out of your shell, or was it really comfortable for you to approach the film set and everybody? I was just curious.
I mean, it was definitely just like just like in life, all some new things are always scary. You know, going onto a set with, so many new people, so many different faces across the world from where I live. It was scary, it was hard, but what I remember is that like everyone has to start somewhere, like I have to start somewhere of meeting these people. I have to start somewhere of letting people know who I am, where I come from, because that's what matters to me. If I go on set, they're gonna know I'm native. They're gonna know I sing my songs. They're gonna know I'm pushing for my people. And that's what always pushed me, and what I had to remind myself when I would get scared. Whenever I would get nervous or whatever, I'm like, I'm not doing this. This isn't about me. This is a way bigger picture than myself. So I would get nervous, but as time began to go along, it gets better. You meet people, you meet faces, people like you like people, you meet friends, you become a family. And it's part of stepping out of your comfort zone, stepping out of that shell and forcing yourself, to do that, because good things happen. When you step out of your comfort zone, good things happen, almost always. And people always told me that, but I was like, oh, whatever. But I finally did it, and I would finally tell myself that, and I did it, and it worked. So it was really good.
That's good. I mean, I was just gonna say too, because you appear so confident, and so that's, I guess, what I was wondering. I mean, even, just to for I mean, like for any person to just approach a new situation and just feel nervous and um
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oh, definitely. So, are there any questions? Okay. Well, I was just going to comment and say that, I watched your video, like I said, and I think our students um, need to believe and um, have that mantra for themselves to say, this is how I'm going to be in my life. This is how I'm going to proceed. This is who I am and what I'm all about. And this is how I'm going to be from this time forth. And I think with I am, I can, I will, that you
Mhm.
have summed that up very well. And to the fact, or that you're now presenting for students and for communities, and I think that's what I admire about your work. And so, and it doesn't matter, where and when that time is or when it comes, I really appreciate that fact that you're out there with that message, and it's a positive message. And
Yeah.
so I really appreciate that, and to let you know that.
Well, I appreciate that so much, and I think thank you guys for thinking of me. I think thank you guys for however you found out or heard about me, for reaching out and letting me, be a part. I always tell people or kids, we're all in this together. We're all, as a community, as people, we're all in this together. We need to be here for each other. We need to support each other, uplift each other. So I'm always here. I'm always here to talk to reach out to. I may be struggling as well, but we go through it together. That's just how community and teamwork works. You go through it together, you help each other out. So I always tell students, I always tell them that, that I'm always here. I'm always here, and just likewise, I hope you guys are here for me as well.
Yes, yes. Um, So in your journey, um, do you or I guess let me ask you this. What has been uh, like your most positive bit of news that's just been like placed right there and it just like something worked out for you? What has that been for you?
It was the day that I found out that I landed my role on a TV show on a TV show that I always loved. So I started out as a director assistant, um, still am, but uh, I auditioned for this role, and the I've been an actor for 3 years now, and I've never got any major roles. I always got rejected or denied, and it never happened. So I felt like in this moment when I got a call from the director and the producers just saying you just landed the role on this show, I just broke down and I just cried because for so long I was rejected. I worked my butt off. I auditioned. I went and did things across my towns and never got anything. Never heard back, never got a call back. And I got that one time I got that call back. It was just like I just held on for so long, and I got that call and I said, "You got this role." And I just broke down because it was like this finally happened. It happened. I got this role. I got to go play, do this character, and it was amazing. That was probably this far in my life till right now. This point has been the opportunity that I just was like grateful and happy in that moment.
That's amazing. That's really amazing. Um, for me, I think it's just being accepted to graduate school. That was, I think, my own personal obstacle. Getting, that letter that says, "Hey, you're accepted," and
Yeah,
so
that's
that
awesome.
that was monumental for me. So, I mean, like that's that's great. I mean, and then for you landing the role the way you did, I mean, and the way you, wow, that's really, really awesome. And I
Yes, and congrats on that. That's awesome.
thank you. Yes, so I'm in my like second semester. So I'm working on that as well and in the meantime. And so um yeah, so it's really
That's awesome. That's beautiful.
thank you. Yeah, yeah. So um are there any final thoughts um from our viewers? Any questions? So I just wanted to ask you what um one thought or um is there a particular final quote that like somewhere in your life as well may have had an impact on you like so what's a particular person said or maybe where you've read and
It's so small, but it's so cliche, but it gets better. So many times have I been somewhere or in a position where it just seemed like it wasn't going to work out. It seemed like it wasn't, things weren't going great. I was failing classes, whatever. And I would always hear it's gonna get better. Keep working hard. It's gonna get better. Things are gonna get better. And I always remember that. I always keep saying that to myself that it's gonna get better. With the good attitude, working hard, it gets better. So I would say, like I said, it's so small, but it that's what has helped. helped me, and then I always remember, as it gets better.
That's great. Oh, that's great.
Yes.
So any other final thoughts from anyone? Okay, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up. And I just want to say once again, thank you, Ahihat, for presenting and doing a presentation for our students, for our parents, staff with the Farmington schools, and it's going to make an impact for our students. And I hope that we are able to have you present again at some point. So um, I'll keep your number and keep you
Yeah.
posted if we can do it again. And so
Yeah, I think that would be really really good to see you guys in person. To be able to see you guys and talk with you guys. That would be awesome.
that would be great. And I just had a comment. Thank you for the presentation. So and likewise, I echo that. So
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys for taking the time to listen and hear what I have to say. I enjoyed speaking, and like I said, maybe one day we can all get together in person and in fellowship. That'd be good.
that sounds great. So well, and it looks like I see it's getting dark for you. So um so with that, um I'm just going to go ahead and conclude, and I hope you have safe travels to where you're heading to. And so in Navajo, we address our younger um, students, young persons with Shiage. So I hope you have safe travel, Shiage, and wherever you're going next. And so thank you again.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me and for thinking of me. And if you guys ever need anything, or you have my contact information, and don't hesitate to reach out.
Okay, sounds good. So we'll go ahead and conclude the Zoom, and I thank you again.
Thank you guys. See you later.
All right, have a good evening.
You too.